Few people are as beloved and widely recognized as Steve Irwin. The charismatic and passionate 44-year-old was renowned for his enthusiasm and expertise when it came to wildlife and had fans all over the world. He was a wildlife conservationist and a TV personality by nature and spent his entire life documenting the wilderness. Steve Irwin was born into a family of conservationists, his parents, Lynn and Bob Irwin, having started the Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park. As a child, Steve was introduced to animals and became adept at handling them at an early age. His father taught him about reptiles from an early age, which led to his interest in crocodiles. When he was just 9 years old, he started handling crocodiles, and his father supervised when he wrestled his first crocodile.
I guess you could say a crocodile family group in the wild.
This love for wildlife only grew more fervent when Steve met Terri, a naturalist from Oregon, with whom he had a whirlwind romance. The couple married in 1992, and they had 2 children, Bindi Sue, born July 24, 1998, and Robert Clarence, born December 1, 2003. Director John Stainton suggested filming a documentary about the couple's adventures catching and rescuing crocodiles. This documentary was the first episode of the Crocodile Hunter series, which was picked up by Discovery Communications in 1996 and made Steve an international icon. The Crocodile Hunter ran for an impressive 11 years, and Steve also went on to appear in other shows such as Croc Files and the Crocodile Hunter Diaries, a documentary series that focused on the Irwin family's everyday life. On the 4th of September in 2006, Steve Irwin was in Bat Reef taking a break from his work on Ocean's Deadliest, a documentary he was co-hosting alongside Philippe Cousteau Jr. The weather had been taking a turn for the worse, so filming had been put on hold. Accompanied by his trustworthy cameraman Justin Lyons, Steve set out to discover the oceanic wilderness. To top it all, Steve was looking for some breathtaking footage to use in his documentary series, Bindi the Jungle Girl, which his daughter Bindi was set to present. With the sun just beginning to set, they took an inflatable out from the main boat hoping to film something they could use. Steve was in shallow water when he spotted a short-tailed stingray. He was immediately fascinated by the creature and decided to follow it, hoping to capture some footage. He and Lyons decided that the final image for the documentary, Bindi the Jungle Girl, would be the stingray swimming away from Irwin. Steve always had a knack for capturing meaningful images that would captivate audiences, and a stingray would be a perfect fit for his daughter's upcoming documentary. The stingray Steve encountered was no ordinary stingray. It was a short-tailed stingray, known for its venomous tail, which can fatally injure anyone it deems dangerous. Justin and other crew members estimated the animal's wingspan at about 2 meters, with a flat disc-shaped body and long whip-like tail that ends with 1 to 3 venomous barbed spines. It was a beautiful creature, with a unique pattern of dark spots and stripes along its back and flanks. Its tail was covered in venomous barbs that it used to defend itself against predators. Another point worth mentioning is that despite their venomous tails, short-tailed rays are not considered dangerous animals. This is because they are naturally non-aggressive and rather gentle. They usually go into attack mode when they sense imminent danger. As he approached the animal, the stingray probably mistook its shadow for a tiger shark, a natural predator of the stingray. Immediately, the stingray became extremely aggressive and unleashed numerous attacks on Steve within seconds. Cameraman Justin Lyons recalled seeing the stingray launch hundreds of attacks in an instant. Steve and his crew could do nothing to stop the stingray's fury. Blood gushed from Steve's chest. At first, he thought only his lungs had been punctured, but in reality, his heart had been punctured. During this accident, the camera kept filming. Steve had a rule for his crew: never stop filming, even in accidents. And his camera crew adhered to this rule, even as Steve Irwin balanced on the verge of death. This accident was completely filmed, down to the smallest detail. Biographer Timmy Donovan said Irwin always told people, "I would be sorry if nobody got my death on tape." In these moments of pain and fear, his cameraman heard Steve say, "I'm dying." Realizing that Steve was nearing his end, the crew quickly brought him back to the inflatable boat and began to give him emergency treatment. According to the testimony of Justin Lyons, "As we're motoring back, I'm screaming at one of the other crew in the boat to put their hand over the wound," Lyons revealed. "And we're saying to him things like, 'Think of your kids, Steve, hang on, hang on, hang on.'" They resuscitated him and tried to apply pressure to the wound to prevent bleeding, but the wound was too deep. The crew quickly took him to nearby Low Isles Hospital, But then it was too late. He was declared deceased upon arrival.
Australian crocodile hunter Steve Irwin has died during a diving expedition near Port Douglas in Australia.
Even if we'd been able to get him into an emergency ward at that moment, we probably wouldn't have been able to save him because the damage to his heart was massive, said Justin Lyons. What adds another layer of mystery to this accident is Steve Irwin's last speech. His last speech was narrated by John Staton. Staton brought Irwin to the small screen and made an international phenomenon out of the Australian naturalist. Staton recounted to the I've Got News For You podcast that a couple days before they began filming, Steve Irwin had made a peculiar speech to the crew who were catching crocodiles for his research expedition. According to Staton, Steve's speech was like a finale speech, where he was thanking them all for being who they were and helping him. Staton further admitted that he had a feeling even before the accident that something was wrong. But as he said, in life you never know what it will bring. Staton confessed he never wanted to film the documentary in the first place, as he had a premonition that he would die during the trip and tried to persuade the Discovery investors to cancel the production. However, failing to do so, he underwent medical examinations and drafted a will in case something went wrong. Since all costs of the trip had already been paid, Discovery Channel continued filming the documentary. The location of the tape of Steve Irwin's tragic death remains a mystery, years later after a stingray assassinated Steve. The entire incident was caught on camera for the TV show Ocean's Deadliest, and the tapes were handed over to authorities to aid their investigation. After that, it returned to Discovery Communications. Irwin's best mate and director John Staton to promote the zoo's conservation efforts. She has also appeared in various television programs and documentaries including the Crocodile Hunter Diaries and Crikey, It's the Twins, which she co-hosts with her children Bindi and Robert. Terri is a strong advocate for wildlife conservation and has worked tirelessly to protect endangered species and their habitats. She has been awarded numerous honors for her work, including the Australian Government Centenary Medal in 2001 and the Order of Australia in 2006. Terri continues to promote wildlife conservation and education and is an inspiration to many who share her passion for protecting the natural world. Bindi Irwin has become an Australian television personality, conservationist, and actress. Like her father and brother Robert, Bindi has been actively involved in conservation and education from a young age. Currently, Bindi Irwin continues her work in conservation and education. She is also wife and mother to daughter Grace. Bindi and her family continue to manage and promote Australia Zoo's conservation efforts. Steve's son Robert has also become an Australian television personality, conservationist, and wildlife enthusiast. Robert was only 2 years old when his father died, but he has followed in his footsteps by continuing to work with and care for animals, particularly at Australia Zoo, the family's Queensland zoo. He is doing everything he can to make sure we don't forget his father. Robert is following in his father's footsteps by feeding the exact same crocodile as his father in the exact same location. By doing that, he creates the same image as the one and only Crocodile Hunter. Thanks for watching this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bell to stay updated on more similar videos. We would love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share your comments below. Until next time.